How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What up?
Will, oh, you have the original SOF shirt on today. OG shirt, man.
It's just
OG
so
shirt.
comfortable.
It is comfortable material. You know what I mean? I'm very proud of that shirt though, because it was like the first shirt that we actually ended up getting.
It was the first one, and it's simple, but like you know what? Gets the job done.
Gets the job done, exactly. So, podcast can be found Spotify, Breaker, Podcast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We always talk about if you like our content, please like, subscribe, goes a long way. If you prefer to see us on some social media or some of the things we post, where can they find us, Will?
At Story of the Fight on Instagram and Twitter, and we have a Facebook group chat, and it's Story of the Fight chat. We're live every Sundays at 9 a.m. Pacific time.
I like how you had to check the clock right now. You're like, what time is this?
I think it's 9, right?
9 a.m. Pacific, 11 Central. That means it'd be 12 Eastern. I know my times, dude.
That's crazy. All right, France, what is it?
Oh, fuck, I don't know, man. You know who would know? Cyril Gane.
Yeah.
That's somebody who would know. Oh,
what
man.
A segue.
Hey, what a segue, dude. I've been working on it. But, dude, that last night's card, like, I know I always text you, right? Like, we have a group text going on with Richard Casual and everything, and it's all around the podcast. And I text you just wondering what fights we're going to cover. Because, sometimes we don't want to cover all the fights to take up all the time. But last night's card, man, 13 fights, and there was a lot of good fights.
Dude, it was all, I mean, going into this one too, just looking at the matchups, like when we previewed it last week just briefly, it was like, oh shit, this guy, oh shit. Like every time you look at the next fight, you're like, that's going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, and you know what? The card came through.
Oh yeah, dude.
It delivered.
Yeah, super delivered. Man, yeah, it was awesome. It was so much fun.
Do we have a moment of silence?
We do. We had some big ones. Let's see. OSP was originally supposed to fight Maxim Grishin. Grishin had to pull out. Ed Herman versus Danilo Marquez. Herman had to pull out. Crazy seeing Ed Herman still doing it. Ramazan Emeev was supposed to fight Worley Alves. Emeev withdrew. Worley Alves was able to rebook against Jeremiah Wells. So he still got to fight. Maybe he wishes he didn't. Nicholas Dalby versus Sergey Kondosko. Kondosko got injured. And then the big ones, for me at least, Anthony Hernandez versus Soriano Punahele. Whatever it is, man. Soriano. Guy's got power in his hands. Speaking of power in your hands, Anthony Hernandez broke his hand, so they had to cancel that fight. Bummer. Would have been fun to see. But the biggest one I was looking forward to is Tim Elliott versus Sumadarji. I think Sumadarji has such a high ceiling, and anytime you see Tim Elliott fight, it's going to be a fun one. Yeah, and that was going to be a really cool one to see. But unfortunately,
again, another one of the great names in mixed martial arts, Sumadarji.
It's a good one.
It just rolls all together. Like you can't just call him Sue.
No.
Oh, no. Madarji.
Yeah. But Sumadarji.
Yeah. All day.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So, main event, Cyril Gane, Alexander Volkov. What were your initial thoughts?
Oh, man. Going into this one, it was like, man, this is like Volkov has kind of reinvented himself and has looked so good as of late. And obviously, both of us have been super high on Cyril Gane. You can't really call him a prospect anymore, but he was like the most exciting heavyweight prospect we've had in a long time, I think.
We've been talking about him for a while on the podcast.
Yeah. He's just so high skill, dude, that like heavyweight has like a lot of fighters who get by, and not just get by, but have a ton of success and like reach the top of the division or the sport by not quite their technical skill, but just the fact that they can hit hard as fuck, you know?
Toughness and power.
Yeah, the equalizer, right? Like you don't have to have the crazy skill set that like a bantamweight has, because the equalizer levels that playing field, right? You can be fighting someone who's way more technical than you, and then just get that. I mean, Derek Lewis versus Volkov, right? Volkov very technical, was outclassing him for the whole fight, and then 1 minute left, Derek Lewis says, "Doesn't matter, I have this," and lands it, because that's all you have to do at heavyweight. So it's rare when we see a prospect who has the skill set that Cyril Gane has. Yeah, going into this fight, I was really hoping he got the win, even though it sucks because I don't want to see Volkov lose, because I want to see him succeed. I want to see him get a title shot, you know? But you got to go Cyril Gane.
I want to see him continue to get his show money and win money, so we can see what the evolution of his back tattoo looks like. Because it's fantastic.
Starts going down his legs.
Yeah.
It is a really good one. He went from a mediocre back tattoo to a really good one.
One of the best in the UFC now.
Yeah, Fitzgerald he calls it out too. Or no, that wasn't in this fight. It was earlier.
It was another fight with a similar back tattoo.
A lot of back tattoos, yeah.
You know, but pound for pound, this is probably one of the best ones. So Volkov on one of the pound for pound lists, probably just not the one he wants to be on.
Yeah.
Dude, Cyril Gane. So when I think about the different heavyweights, like there's a couple of heavyweights that are coming up right now that I feel like are kind of like the next wave.
Yeah, you can see it.
What to expect to see in the heavyweight division martial arts. One of them being Bozer, which we'll talk about later, and Cyril Gane, where they're not the biggest guys in the world. Granted, maybe 240, 245, but they don't move. He doesn't move like he's 245. He's so light on his feet, in and out. His footwork's fantastic. The way he's able to slip punches and counter at the exact same time. His hands are so fast.
And his jab, like, it does. You can block his jab, but he just punches through your guard. Like, his jab just comes straight through. Most people, they'd pull back, right? And his just keeps going through. And he was doing this thing where he would jab in and then come in with the left, almost like an uppercut, but not like a uppercut. It was
like a shovel hook.
Yeah, it was just like a nice little short little uppercut. And he was finding so much success with that. He wouldn't just pop his jab. He was using his jab to like get in, you know? And man, just so technical. Technical.
They were talking about the fact that he seemed a little bit more aggressive in the fourth round and fifth round than he did against Drazinho Rosenstruck. But I also think that maybe he felt some of Volkov's shots first through third round, and he thought, you know what, I have a chin for this. And so I could be more aggressive.
Yeah, not just that. I wouldn't be surprised if his game plan was stand, pick your shots, just kind of get through those first couple rounds, because Volkov has bulked up so much that he hasn't been that big for a long time, right? I don't think he's still like fully like adjusted to that weight that he's carrying, you know? If that makes sense. So I mean he did fine, right? The fifth round was actually he did get a good job in the fifth round, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if the game plan was kind of take it slow in the first couple rounds and then pick it up later on, because Volkov's going to be more like sluggish. But then also you add that to the fact that he did feel his biggest shots, and it's like, oh yeah, this is the right game plan. I can take the big shots. Let me just overwhelm him at this point. It wasn't like he didn't like run away with it, anything crazy, right? Volkov was still kind of in there, but.
So why not do? Good. I mean, because Derek Lewis, you know, we were already waiting for Lewis versus Ngannou. What about a Stipe versus Gane?
Yeah,
I don't know if Stipe would want to do that though.
Stipe might just be waiting for a rematch, and if he doesn't get the title shot, he might just retire. You know, because he's talked about already retiring. He's older and all that kind of stuff. I think Stipe is a nightmare for Cyril Gane, though. I think he's probably the worst stylistic matchup you could throw him. Curtis Blades maybe too, but no, not even Curtis Blades. I think Curtis Blades.
I think where we see Curtis Blades right now in the rankings is where we're going to see Curtis Blades for the next 3-4 years. He
just doesn't have like the entries on the grappling exchanges that you need to get away from those equalizers like Derek Lewis and Francis, right? Like, but Stipe does. Stipe knows how to wrestle heavyweights, and obviously Curtis Blades does too. But when have you seen Stipe get caught reaching for a takedown?
And I
He
know
just
that
doesn't reach.
Ngannou is a champion right now, and I just don't want people to forget just how damn good Stipe is, man.
Dude, Stipe. He's older now, but Francis, I do not think is going to be a champion for very long. I don't think he's going to have Stipe has the record, right, for most title defenses at heavyweight, at least consecutive. I don't know if he has all time because there's been multiple time champions and stuff like that, but he probably does. But Francis, we know how to beat him. I know his wrestling improved, stuff like that, but that's how you beat him, or you stay on the outside and pick your shots like Cyril Gane does. I think that's such an interesting fight because I can see that fight almost being like Wilder versus Fury, where it's like Wilder really just has the big shot. And that's pretty much, I know Francis has improved, and I'm not trying to shit talk him, but because I'm a huge Francis fan.
Yeah, we're all Francis fans, especially knowing his story. Everybody wants him to succeed.
Yeah, exactly. But that being said, I think Cyril Gane probably, it's not going to be an exciting fight, but you know what? I could see it kind of being like Woodley versus Wonder Boy, But on the flip side, where I think Cyril Gane ends up taking it, but I could see there being like a round that like he does catch him once, and it's like a real high drama like moment, where it's like, oh shit, he's going to go out. Other than that, though, I think Cyril just picks him apart.
Yeah. No, dude, Cyril Gane, the sky's the limit for this guy.
Yeah, I had a buddy text me, and he said, I get that it's not the most exciting style, especially at heavyweight for a lot of people, but I think it's so fun to watch. But he said, he texted me, he's like, I know Gane is your boy, or Gane is your boy, but I just watched the replay, and man, I want to see more. Output is fine, power is great, but it's like watching a Mayweather fight. Hate Mayweather fights. Not saying he's not good. He's really good. It's just not fun. I get it.
Dude, that's a good way to put it, though.
Yeah, I get it. But guess what? I love watching Mayweather fights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I want to see that like expertise,
But all the talk and the excitement and everything that comes with Francis Ngannou is because of the power that he possesses. And everybody's on pins and needles just waiting for that one big shot to have the Rogan reaction where you're like, whoa, everybody's waiting for that. You're not going to get that with Gane, at least not right now.
No, you're not going to get that
but you'll probably see longevity with Gane.
Exactly.
You'll see longevity.
Longevity, you won't see him get outclassed ever. Like the way that Francis lost to Stipe the first time, that's not going to happen to Cyril Gane.
John Jones versus Gane?
No, it would be so good, dude. It would be so good. Watch, I bet you. Derek Lewis loses to Francis. Cyril Gane gets a title shot, beats Francis, and then all of a sudden John's like, yeah, it's not as big of a fight, so I'll take a little bit less money. I'll fight him. because
I'll take the title.
I would much rather fight Gane than Francis, Because, if you're John Jones versus Cyril Gane, it's such a fun fight stylistically. I don't think it'd be like a very memorable, rewatchable fight, but live, very fun. Very fun because they're both so technical. But John's like way more unorthodox and creative, I think.
We have to plan like a time for all of us to go to a live fight again.
I know, dude. I know.
Like we have to find something, a good card, go over there, report live from the event with Richard Casual would probably be the one falling asleep in the stands. Hey man, there's got to be one. All right. Anything else on that fight?
No, other than Cyril Gane is just so impressive,
Super impressive. I was also impressed with Bozer. So Bozer versus OSP was the co-main event, and I believe this was OSP's second fight at heavyweight. Here we see a couple last shots of there we go. Bozer versus OSP. There it is. But man, I was talking about this new wave of heavyweights that are coming through. Bozer, not the biggest guy, but another guy that moves around like a light heavyweight and in some middleweights.
Yeah, yeah, he really does. And funnily enough, has a loss to Cyril Gane. They went to Cyril Gane beat him in a decision, but
Yeah, nothing to
Bozer,
hang his head on, you know?
no, and I don't think it's the last time that they fight. I think they end up fighting again. But
Look at that Canadian right hook.
yeah, look at that
Right
Canadian
to the
haircut.
temple.
But
Fantastic.
yeah, Bozer is so fun. I'm so high on Bozer, and his last two fights, right, the Arlovsky fight was disappointing. He said he felt like he was winning, so he was kind of coasting, and I was like, all right, yeah, can't do that. Glad he recognized it. Kind of happened in the Latifi fight recently. Um, I don't even want to get into the judging on that one. I think either way, you could give it either way. It just depends on what you score, right? The scoring's still kind of vague, the actual criteria, but and then I was like, fuck, man, that's not something you need to learn a third time, right? Stop coasting. You know, you recognized it and you vocalized it, and then you coasted in this fight again. So we got to do something here. Either it's like a built-in excuse type thing, or it's just a hard habit to break. But he did not. He came in here looking like he learned his lesson.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
the urgency. As soon as the first round started, the urgency was there. Bozer was extremely active, light on his feet. Dude, he had this the sick little stutter step.
Yeah.
So he came in with that huge right hook, like overhead right hook, right? And then after OSP got hit with that, he come in with the stutter fake to right and come in with the left. And I was like, oh, dude, that's slick, man.
So good because you just don't. Yeah, what do you react to? And then all of a sudden you get hit in the face. And
I was thinking to myself, like, man, because you know how we're talking about last week, they were saying, hey, you know, this person is gun shy. This person is gun shy. I found myself thinking that in the beginning with OSP, but then I thought to myself, no, man, it's Bozer. It's Bozer doing work, giving him different looks, giving him different angles, and OSP is just not able to figure it out.
Yeah, he froze him.
He's in there thinking, I'm going to fight another heavyweight, and this guy's, again, moving around like another light heavyweight or middleweight. Dude, it was a lot of work for OSP.
I saw someone say OSP is the first guy to be able to hide Xanax on a drug test, but I don't think, like you said, I don't think he should take a ton of shit for not being active in this fight. I think, dude, he was just overwhelmed, you know?
Yeah.
Like, dude, if I was in there, I would be just this. You know what I mean? Like, so when do you throw back?
It's less shitting on OSP and more giving Bozer the credit for doing the work. And man, we had some drama in that fight.
At this point, I'm starting to dislike DC as a commentator. And I know, dude, DC's my boy, but dude, he like sensationalizes and like he just like I honestly think he's almost like a WWE commentator. You know what I mean?
I think
there's too many theatrics with him.
It depends on what you like, right? Because again, if you want to sit in and feel like you're listening to a fight companion, then you know DC with Rogan, DC with Felder is really good. If you like more just listening, I mean, I shouldn't say just the technical side of things because DC is more knowledgeable than a lot of folks that I've heard as a color commentator. I don't know how to describe it. If you just want simple play-by-play and a little bit of color commentating here and there, then probably not your guy.
Well, it's not even that. It's borderline like unprofessional at this point, in my opinion, because not only does he really harp on people when they're losing instead of praising what the other guy's doing, right? He's so quick and like in the moment he's like too. He just wants everything to be bigger, right? He's like a hype man. And like the Thug Roast thing was awesome, right? Because it was so natural and new, right? Because I mean, it might have been his first commentary gig, or at least it was early in him commentating. But yeah, and it was so natural and it was amazing. But now things like this, and you see the post-fight interview because he thinks the cage grab is what led to the stand-up, which led to the knockout. And you could tell, like, in the interview, he was, like, pissed off and, like, wasn't even, like, trying to, like, actually interview
You know what? It kind of seemed like he cut it off quickly, turned around, and he was talking as he walked out, like, making sure that Bozer didn't have any extra time to give any extra. I noticed that, too. I noticed
Yeah.
that too. Something was bugging him at that point in time, and I figured maybe because he felt like he was interviewing a cheater.
Yeah, exactly. And since then, he's posted that he like apologizes for calling out the cheating. He went back and saw the replay and like agrees that there was an offense grab, all the stuff. But dude,
Hey, the strength from Bozer, because
yeah,
it looked like a fence
It
grab
really
from that
did look
angle
like it.
because of how much he was
was
able to
just a butt
sit
scoop.
up.
yeah,
Dude, the strength
Really
because
impressive.
it was not a fence grab. All he did was butt scoop, push at the exact
Mhm.
same time, and whoop.
And against OSP at heavyweight. OSP
Yeah.
has a good ground game. He's heavy, He's even
Hey.
heavier now.
I was impressed with Bozer in his previous fights. Even more impressed with Bozer now. And again, new wave of heavyweights coming in.
Because
not the biggest guys in the world, but they can move.
Yeah, and we talk about like, okay, yeah, first round knockouts and shit are cool, but like I want to see people progress and learn and shit like that, deal with adversity. And you look at the two things that have troubled Bozer, and it's the coasting when he thinks he's on top, and the other thing is the inability to get up off his back. And we saw him he righted both those wrongs in this fight, right? Because, dude, it's not easy to get OSP off of you, especially if you're somebody who consistently struggles getting people off of you. He got OSP off in a very impressive, and I mean, it was impressive that transition, and he came out with the urgency. So he's fixing his holes, he's fixing his problems, and I mean, same thing. Sky's the limit for Bozer, I think, at heavyweight.
So excited.
Yeah.
Heavyweight division's in very good hands right now.
Yeah. Also, back to the commentary. I know I've been harping on it like every week lately, but Felder's there, man. Felder should be doing the post-fight interviews. I think he's the best at it. When I saw DC get in the cage and start doing the post-fight interviews, I was like, fuck, man, Felder's right there. Like, he's right there. And he even said, like, in the Nicholas Dalby fight, we'll talk about it later, but he was like, you could see that he wanted to interview Dalby after the fight and was like, maybe next time Dalby fights, I'll interview him and ask him. And it's like, no, dude, just let him do the interviews, because it was like an insightful. It was about the breathing, right? And then it didn't end up happening. But
yeah, and there's something else that
very
DC did this night that I have in my notes here, which I'll mention later. But I kind of saw it as a red flag. But we'll cover it later.
Yeah.
Hey, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to Tony. Thanks for hopping on, Tony. Love the loyalty from this guy. He's always, yeah, man. Miss that guy. But happy Sunday to you as well, Tony. Barcelos versus Valiev.
This one fight of the night, right?
Did it? Dude, it was a good fight.
It was a good fight. Wasn't my fight of the night, but it was a good fight.
So this guy's a Dagestani, right?
Yes.
Dagestani. So, dude, something about these Dagestanis, man.
Yeah.
They're just tough as nails. That you can never count them out, and they always have fantastic post-fight interviews.
Oh, I don't know if he is Dagestani. It says he was born in Russia and fighting out of Moscow.
Oh, really? I could have sworn they said he was Dagestani.
But he's teamed the Dag fighter, so probably. Maybe Tapology doesn't differentiate Dagestan versus Russia.
How dare they?
I know. How dare they?
How dare they? But
but they do differentiate Tibet with China, so shout out Tapology for that.
Dude, Barcelos had some power in his hands, man.
Ooh, that uppercut.
Oh my dude, when they're getting back,
kept landing it. That's probably it right there.
That's it right there. That's it right there. They're getting up from that scramble, and he's met with that right uppercut straight from Brazil. Holy smokes, man. But man, so Valiev is rocked bad that second round.
That got dropped. Heavy.
And I'm shocked he made it. One, I knew that he might have been a little bit out of it, because when the round ends and Barcelos is on top of him, he taps him on the back and tells him, "Good job," with a smile on his face. And I was like, oh, dude, after taking some hammer fist, after taking that uppercut, for him to just tap him with that smile and say, "Good job," he's either crazy or he's out of it. One of the two. Dude, but he came out looking so fresh. That third round, I was shocked.
Dude, I was impressed. It was very
His recovery?
Impressed. Yeah. And I wonder if Barcelos also gassed a little bit going for it in the second round.
Could be.
And that like helps make him look more like recovered. But I was very surprised. I thought it was a wrap. I thought the third round was gonna just be kind of more of the same. No, not at all. He looked
and he
fine.
took a couple big shots again.
Yeah, he did.
Because that's what I was like. Okay, well, his legs are underneath him again.
Mhm.
But if he takes another big shot, it is going to be lights
gonna
out.
be the nail in the
Dude,
coffin.
he took a couple more big shots. He continued
Yeah.
pressuring Barcelos. How'd you have it scored? Do you remember?
I had 28-28.
Shut your face, because I had the exact same thing. So last
one of the
night-
judges did too, right?
Yeah, one of the judges did too. I
Promote
thought
that
that was
guy.
the right call.
Promote him.
I thought that was
How
the
is
right
the
call.
second round not a 10-8? What's a
That's
10-8
what
then?
I'm trying to figure out. And we've had other 10-8 rounds as of late recently that I
were
was
much
like,
closer than
it could have gone
Yeah.
10-9, 10-8.
Yeah.
But for me, I felt like that second round was clearly
So
10-8.
clear. It was so clear.
Man,
I don't know what else you have to do.
But again,
Not
I love
every
the post-fight
10-8 round
interview.
has to be, yeah.
Yeah, somebody
same.
doesn't have to die to get a 10-8
Yeah.
round. But, Valiev almost did.
He almost did.
He almost did.
So
Dude.
maybe he needed to die?
I don't know. But the post-fight interview was fantastic. I love how he gave so much props to the legend, Frankie Edgar. He kept on telling him, dude, they were talking about those hard shots. It's like, I train with Frankie Edgar. What's a hard shot, man? Like, we just keep on coming
what's
back.
funny about that is I was like, this is probably too deep for a joke, but I was like gonna say not every 10-8 round has to be the Gray Maynard versus Frankie Edgar second round of their rematch.
Yeah.
It was like Gray Maynard landed like 116 strikes. Frankie was dropped like 4 times, but and then the next round, the third round, Frankie goes out, picks him up, slams him, and then wins the round. It's like, man, so it was the perfect call out, right? Frankie Edgar is just so fucking tough, man. So tough.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
That's
All
the
right,
best fight. Maybe the best fight in UFC history is Gray Maynard versus Frankie Edgar too.
I thought you were talking about
this one?
Marcelo.
Hell no.
I was like, hey, let's slow down, bro. It was
Whoa,
impressive,
whoa, whoa.
but let's calm
Like it was
down.
yeah.
Before that, I want to take a little time on this one because Touchy Feely, one of the best nicknames.
This is when I texted you, wow, because
dude,
I knew this was going to be a big one for you.
Versus Pineda, yeah. So first of all, Feely has this is the best he's ever looked.
This is every once in a while someone has like a virtuoso performance in fighting,
like a coming out party
where everything they do works. Nate Diaz versus Michael Johnson, right? Donald Cerrone versus Rick Story.
Yep.
Eddie Alvarez or Conor versus Eddie Alvarez.
Yep.
This was that moment for Feely. You know what I mean? And it's been a long time coming for him to have a performance like this.
So I love Team Alpha Male. 1, 2. Because of the fact that I follow Team Alpha Male for quite some time, I've had an opportunity to watch Touchy Feely coming up in the UFC. So I've always been a fan of Feely. He represents that area of California I love. When he does his Thiz dance at the end.
Yeah,
dude, I just love that. I absolutely love this guy. I eat all that shit out. But when we're taking a look at this eye poke today, so frustrating.
Very frustrating.
Because he had this fight. And even Pineda says he was fucking me up. Yeah. He said that multiple times. He knows he was getting messed up. He gets out, and you know what? It was a bad eye poke.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
it was bad.
It happened. He
was trying to create distance.
Yeah,
and his finger happened to be in his eye socket. So when he's creating distance, pushing back, and the finger's in the eye socket, it's a bad eye poke. But dude, I don't want anything taken away from Feely's performance. Again, his footwork, his ability to maintain his distance.
Yeah.
His ability to get in and out quickly with his combinations. Dude, he was so accurate. And
this
one last thing, something else that I feel like has come with the evolution of Feely is the patience. The patience.
Yes. Yeah, it was big here.
God, so frustrated.
One of speaking back to Donald Cerrone versus Rick Story, right? He had that one combo that was like, it was like mind blowing seeing it happen, right? Um, every once in a while you get like, it doesn't have to be the full fight, but every once in a while you'll get a chunk of a fight, a sequence of a fight, like Donald Cerrone versus Rick Story, or like Anderson versus Forrest Griffin, where it's just like in this like quick 3 or 4 second sequence, something like beautiful happens. And that happened in this one where he hit him with the 1-2, high kick, another 1-2, a high kick again. All of it's landing. Nothing's missing. Another 1-2. Pineda goes down for the takedown. He gets his underhooks and then lateral tosses him over him. So it's just like bap, bap,
That lateral toss
head
was
kick, bap, bap,
nuts.
lateral toss. And it was just like, for 5 seconds, it was like, it looked almost scripted. It looked like choreography. It looked too good to be an actual fight. And I like stood up and I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, it was just, I mean, just absolute masterclass from Feely. And unfortunate that they couldn't continue it.
And Pineda, tough as nails, man. One, for surviving those crazy strikes.
Tough
Two,
as nails.
that was a really bad eye poke.
Mhm.
And
He was still
the
trying.
doctor, and he's like, I'm good. I could see. And they're like, dude, take your time. He's like, I'm good. I could see. That's all he kept on saying is, I could see. Yeah, and they're like, how many fingers am I holding up? He's like, 1. And he's holding like 4 fingers up.
So
and it's like,
brutal, man.
Damn it.
So that moment, it almost shouldn't be mic'd up, but it was, and it was tough. That's a tough
and
moment.
As soon as he missed that first eye test, and you hear just go, oh no, he's guessing.
Yeah, it was bad. It was
poor guy. But dude, for me, one of the good things about the UFC is that I feel like Dana White and I feel like Mick Maynard and I feel like all the brass look at this, and Feely's stock still goes up.
Yeah.
Look at Leon
versus Bilal. And then he ends up fighting Nate Diaz, which rankings wise, not a step up.
Jabs the shit out of Bilal's eye, and they're like, dude, this guy needs a big fight.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe they do the same for my boy Feely.
Yeah. I one thing that also bothered me about this one, back on DC, harping on him, still love him, but after this fight, he's such, and Ariel would always call him out on it, he's such a UFC company man, like he'll never talk bad about the UFC, and I understand why. He's talked about how they've done things for him that he never would have even imagined in life, right? But after this one, they were kind of ragging on the fact that, oh, he's got 5 minutes, give the 5 minutes. And then later, they're talking about DC was just like shoving it down everybody's throat. Actually, we found out the fighters don't get 5 minutes. It's they get 5 minutes, the doctor gets 5 minutes to decide, and like trying to use that to like absolve anything, right? Or like make the situation look better. But in reality, the doctors never take their 5 minutes. I don't care whose 5 minutes it is. If it's the fighters or it's the doctors to decide, everybody knows initially eye pokes fucking suck. And you cannot determine the effect they're going to have within a minute. You just can't, Sometimes you get poked in the eye. Your body physically is stopping your eye from opening because it's a defense mechanism, right?
Yep.
It doesn't mean that it's swollen shut or that you can't see because it scratched your eye or something like that. You just have to give it time. It should be automatic. It should be automatic 5 minutes unless the fighter's like, no, I'm good. I can see. Do the thing. We're good.
Which Pineda said.
True, but once you do the thing, I mean, the doctor at one point, the doctor at one point, he's like, I can't see your eye, so you can't see out of it. It's like, you can tell me you can see, but your eye's closed.
Dude, that was, again, it was a tough one for me for a few reasons. One, Pineda wanted to continue fighting. Doctor's there to protect the fighters.
But the worst
the ref
thing
is there to protect the fighters.
Is because they never take those 5 minutes, fighters know they have to be like, I'm fine, and go in there when they're not. When in this case, 5 minutes later, his eye was swollen shut. It was the right call to stop it. But in some cases, you can't see, but in 5 minutes, you're going to be fine. But instead, they're going to call this fight if I ask for more time. I'm fine. And then they go out there and they can't see still, and they have no depth perception. And it's like, they should automatically get up to 5 minutes. They shouldn't be able to call it
See, and I thought,
under
and
5.
this is where I was confused. Hey, Rich the Casual in the background. I don't know if you can kind of research the rules for an eye poke in MMA, because and it might be different depending on where they're fighting. But I when I first started hearing he should get 5 minutes, I thought the 5 minutes was only for nut shots.
So no, so
like the automatic 5 minutes.
So automatic 5 minutes for groin shots, right? The fighter gets 5 minutes to recover. Eye pokes, there's no time for the fighter to recover. There's 5 minutes for the doctor to decide. The doctor has to make a decision within 5 minutes. So it's not on the fighter to recover, it's on the doctor to come to a decision. What I'm saying is, why don't the doctors ever utilize the full 5 minutes when that could potentially change the outcome of their decision? You know what I mean?
No, I get that. I'm just saying because there was confusion, right? Like I'm in a group text message with my friends over here as well with MMA, and one of the things they said is, why didn't they give him the whole 5 minutes? You know, and that's when I was like, I don't think it's up to the fighter at that point.
Yeah, it's not for the fighter to recover technically. It's just for the doctor to make a decision, the correct decision.
You know what sucks though? Like I've been poked in my eye, where for the first minute or 2 minutes my eye is just fucked.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
And then
you open, it's like blinking and shit.
After a couple of minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah,
you know, a few minutes after I'm good. So I don't understand why it's, like you said, it's just not an automatic 5.
Yeah, it seems like the doctors don't want to be in there, and that they get in there and they're like, all right, let's make a decision. Is this good or not? Nope, not good. But it's
that doctor looked like he had just
3 minutes, they might be
got back from a safari.
He did
yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
I was like, is this the doctor? He still had his like music headphones on, and like he has like a little safari like vest on.
It looked like he was fly fishing.
Yeah, and that's probably why he didn't want to be in there. He's like, he pulled me away from my fly fishing.
Dude,
right now.
I got fish. I got to clean them. Like,
all right, man. Well, hopefully, Feely gets a crack at another fight here pretty soon.
Yeah.
His post-fight interview, when he talks about the fact that it was just his birthday, he's like, one of the things I'm focusing on right now is just gratitude. You know, like I'm working. He said one of the best jobs ever. Look what I get to do. You know, dude. Just a fantastic attitude afterwards.
Yeah.
Again, the maturity that we're seeing from Feely. We're watching this guy grow up in so many different ways. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, like no insult to Feely, but dude, just the evolution of Feely, man. We're going to see it.
Yeah.
We're going to see it. So before that, your boy,
the Dirty Bird.
The Dirty Bird versus Dalby.
So excited to see him fight all the time, dude. He's just never in a boring fight. Ever. He's just so fucking technical and like scrappy, and he hits you from weird angles. You think you're safe in a clinch, and all of a sudden he's landing a big shot on you.
Yeah, dude. And
he's
they came
so
out
nasty.
They came out swinging and banging.
Yeah, they did.
And they're like, well, Dalby said that he was going to be a lot more calculated, taking his time. Doesn't look like that right now. You know,
Tim Means like, I'm not going to let you make that decision. Like,
dude,
I'm going to make you have to fight back.
It was such a fun back and forth fight, though.
Yeah, man. Tim Means can still take a shot too.
Yeah.
What is he, 37 years old?
Dude, he got rocked in the third round.
Yeah, he got rocked in the second also.
Dude, and what Dalby's breathing, did you see anything about that? Any post-fight interview, anything that covered?
I haven't seen anything. I think it was just, like DC said, I think it was just an exercise he was doing to maintain like a rhythm almost, you know? To not have your breathing disrupt. Because that's one of the worst things is have your breathing get disrupted, right? Or disrupted. Because he didn't gas. You know,
he didn't.
But
that's one of the things after the first round where they're like, "Oh man, there's 4 minutes left to go in this round." In the first round, and he's breathing heavily. He's breathing heavily, you know. And I mean, it was pretty evident after a while that's just how some type of breathing technique, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, they both looked good. This was a great fight. Tim Means, man, I thought he was gonna have more elbows. Throw more elbows in the clinch, but when he did throw them, holy shit, dude. Like, he's so good at like holding heads and just coming through, like elbowing his hand through their face. Like, Dalby has a chin on him too, man. He was taking some big shots up against the cage.
Did you see that sequence? The exact same thing you just mentioned right now. He grabs Dalby behind the neck, throws an elbow, and then just like throws him up against the cage after that and starts
just face to the fence, dude.
I was like, what is going on right now? It was awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. That was disrespectful.
But
It was so nasty.
disrespectful.
Imagine getting your face thrown into a chain link fence. That probably sucked.
No, I can't, and I don't want that to ever happen. But dude, it was a fun fight.
Yeah.
And whenever you see
Dirty Bird, man.
Timmy's on there, you just know it's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. All right.
Yeah, really had to survive that third round too. And
Yeah, he
great
did.
grappling from him. Such good grappling from him. And it's not something you see from him very often, but god damn, dude. Like there was a moment where he had him in like side control, and he was just pressuring Dalby's hips. Dalby's hips were facing the wrong way because he just wouldn't let him scoot over. And then he just walked him over to the fence. Probably shouldn't have because that's how Dalby got up, but still really cool to see him grapple like that.
And this wasn't a bad performance from Dalby.
No, he looked great. He just got beat.
Exactly. It just wasn't his night means, man.
Yeah.
Means 32-12?
Yeah, dude.
God
Dirty
damn.
Bird, man. He's been doing it. And what sucks is we lost him for like a year and a half or something like that. When he was on a roll, too. He was on a fucking roll. And then he tested positive for like Allsterine or something like that. And he was out for like a year and a half. And then it came back that it was actually tainted supplement. And it was like...
Dude, that's so frustrating.
It was like something that physically couldn't actually help him. Like it was like basically useless. But it was just in his system from tainted supplements. And we lost a year. I mean, he probably could have had 2 or 3 fights in that time frame. And he was on a roll.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are the repercussions for something like that for USADA or for...
It's 0. That's money left on the table for Means.
It is.
That's a year that he couldn't earn a living. I mean,
let's take out a year.
I wonder what he did.
Man, I don't know.
What
Probably
do
still
you
tainted
do?
supplements. No, I'm just kidding. All right, but before that, we had Moicano versus Herbert. Dude.
Yeah, the last fight on the main card.
Talk about tattoos.
Yeah.
This is an improved tattoo for Moicano. I was impressed when I saw him. But, dude, this is the best I've seen Moicano in a while, too. Showed up.
He looked phenomenal.
I've said this for a while. Why doesn't Moicano grapple more?
Yeah.
Let's see your grappling,
especially when the results have been what they have been. Yeah.
Look at that. For anybody that's just listening on watching right now, see a nice double leg takedown from Moicano. And Herbert has just like a shit look on his face. He's like, here we go.
Here we go again.
Yeah, here we go again. But dude, it's beautiful work. yeah. Dude, I thought that when I first saw this. Oh man. But dude, Herbert just struggle city off his back.
Not just that, but in his UFC career, he was coming in so hyped, got knocked out by old man Francisco Trinaldo, and then has this fight, which guess what?
Francisco Trinaldo has power, though. He's got that old man.
He does. Strength. Yeah, he definitely does.
He's a good striker.
Yeah. But you look at dude, his UFC debut was supposed to be against Mark Jacassi. I forgot how you pronounce his name, but tough fight. Very exciting matchup. It didn't happen. Then he fights Francisco Trinaldo, gets knocked out. Then he's supposed to fight Drakkar Klose. Tough fight. And then they give him Renato Moicano, who, let's be honest, probably was given to Jai as like, hey, let's get
let's build you up a little bit
on your resume, and let's get you back in the win column, and people will be excited for you.
And Moicano's like, nah.
Moicano said, I'm not even going to give you the opportunity.
Which is what he should be doing more often.
Yeah, I think he knows now. I think he realizes now.
I hope so, man.
Yeah,
there was some hype behind Moicano, and I know he doesn't have the same, resume that some of the other fighters have in his division.
Yeah,
but dude, he's got potential, man.
Dude, we've
seen glimpses.
Dude, yeah, I mean, he was very hyped. He comes into the UFC undefeated, right? Becomes 8-0 in his debut, rear naked choke. Then he beats Zubaira Tahugov, which is a very tough fight. That was 2016. That's a tough fight, man.
Yep.
Especially in hindsight. He wins it by a split decision. Then he beats Jeremy Stephens in a split decision. He's 10-0. He's looking good. Then he gets guillotined by Brian Ortega. Not good. Then he beats Calvin Kattar and Cub Swanson. Right? Not
Ever
bad.
Heard of those guys?
Yeah. Now we're looking, okay, he's 12-1. He lost to Brian Ortega, who's a fucking phenom. Mm-hmm. And then Now we're off to the races, right? You beat Calvin Kattar, you beat Jeremy Stevens, you beat Cub Swanson. Oh, let's give him Jose Aldo, right? Jose Aldo's kind of on the decline. Moicano's on his way up, get a big name under his belt, and then Aldo fucks him up. It was beautiful, those body shots on the cage. Then they give him the Korean Zombie. He gets knocked out. Then Damir Hadzovic, tough fight. Then Fiziev, Jesus Christ, and now Jai Herbert. Finally, he gets kind of an easier opponent. Still not an easy fight, but dude, absolute killers. He hasn't had one easy fight.
Yeah.
Absolute killers.
So there was a good reason for his hype.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just hope he grapples more going forward.
Yeah, me too, because you look at his last 3 losses. I mean, he's never lost a decision. He's only been finished, but his last 3 losses are punches, overhand right, left hook.
Yep.
He's been stopped 3 times now by knockout. I mean, Ortega stopped him, but it was a submission, so a little bit more forgiving there. But goddamn, that's tough. He's young, and he's a good striker. I mean, he was hanging in there with Fiziev a little bit, which is very tough. I mean, he ended up getting outclassed, but he wasn't like – it's not like he had 0 success. He didn't get absolutely ran through. But, yeah, I'd be interested to see him take a more like cerebral approach like this one and just continue to win, And dude, the finish here was nasty.
It was.
Really nasty.
It was.
Yeah, all of a sudden he flipped a switch and he went for it, dude.
I like Moicano.
Yeah, me too. I'm a fan. I'll watch every one of his fights. He's never had a bad matchup. I mean, it's just absolute banger every single time, even when he loses, unfortunately,
Moicano, we're fans. You got this, dude. All right.
Yeah.
Next one.
Promising career.
Zechekwu versus Marquez.
Yeah.
Some people say Zechekwu. I believe the correct pronunciation is Zechekwu.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Man's exciting. His last 2 fights have been kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for him. They've both gone his way. Dude, the first round. Did it. That first round, little uneventful. Yeah. And there it is. That was the first round. We're showing the picture right now. Body triangle from Marquez while Zechekwu standing up against the cage, huddled up, protecting himself against shots. And that was 4 minutes, I think, of the first round.
Yep. Yeah, they just stayed there.
Rough.
And, I mean, what do you do if you're Zechekwu, What do you do? If you go to the ground, you're going to get subbed.
Yep.
It's just if you're going to get subbed.
No, I think he defended it perfectly.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. You take the round. In my opinion, it's a 10-8 round. You take it and start over. Try not to get there again.
Man, so you think that was a 10-8 round?
I think so. I think taking someone's back is the most dominant position you could be on in the ground, other than like a crucifix. It used to be mount, but nowadays mount, people can escape it a lot better now. They know how to escape mount. But I think having someone's back is the most dominant position you can have, other than a crucifix.
But do you think he did enough while back there to warrant a 10-8?
Doesn't matter to me. Because if the way I look at 10-8s is it even possible that the other guy can win that round? If it's not, if it's a very decisive, clear, obviously this guy won, that's a 10-8 for me. And I think you take someone's back, it doesn't matter if you didn't get anything with it, because the threat is it can be there in an instant. All it takes is me putting my head up a little bit. All it takes is it's the most dominant position. I think if you're able to take someone's back and hold them there for the whole fucking round, that's a 10-8 for me. Because what did you do on the other side? You offered nothing basically, because you can't score defense.
So it's mainly because he took his back. So let's say that it was on the ground, lay and pray, and it was for 4.5 minutes, and the person on top didn't do very much. Would you consider that a 10-8 because it was a dominant position for? Let's say side control.
Side control, that's pretty dominant. If they didn't do anything with it, probably not, because the threat of submissions and side control is not nearly as high as off the back. Probably a 10-9. If there was a decent amount of ground and pound, I think that's a 10-8 though. I think if you're utterly controlled and you're nullified completely, and there's a threat of a finish at any point, which in my opinion, 4 minutes of back time, that's a threat of submission that entire time. I think that's a 10-8. You know.
Man, see, I scored that one 10-9, and just for the same reason that he didn't do very much with it. I get that it's a dominant position from the back, and I guess that's why judges score it differently.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Everybody has a different view on what a 10-8 round is. Again, we can't get like anything set in stone.
Yeah,
that's why we have 3 judges. All of them are probably going to score it differently.
I think, I think in the criteria it literally says now that like if there's no doubt who won the round and there was little offered from the other side, then it's a 10-8. You know what I mean? Like
if that's the case, we should see a lot more 10-8s.
I think so. I think if there's, in my opinion, dude, if there's a round that is very obvious that somebody won, it should be a 10-8. If there's a round that's close but it was edged out, it's a 10-9. Because if this was a round where, say the next round there was like they just threw jabs, right? They only threw jabs and it was very close, but he out-jabbed him like 5 more times than he did, or than the other guy did. That's a 10-9 round, right? It was very close. He slightly edged him on the feet. But that, in my opinion, should not be scored the same as someone who has their back of the body triangle for 4 minutes of the round. Like those cannot be the same to me. You know, those 2 rounds, there has to be something different. And then, I don't know, maybe there's a 10-7, maybe 10-7s start becoming the absolute beatdowns that we've been seeing because this round isn't, in my opinion, equal to the second round of the Barcelos fight. You know what I mean? So maybe 10-7s, I don't know. The hard thing with that is then it's like you can't overcome one really good round.
Yeah.
But maybe you shouldn't be able to. I don't know. If you edge out 2 rounds, but you got the shit beat out of you in one of them, probably lost the fight.
If you're just watching this as a fight,
Mm-hmm.
would you say Barcelos won the fight? Not thinking who won the first round, who won the third round, who won the second round, just thinking the overall fight, who got their ass kicked? Who would you say won?
It's hard because when you start scoring it like that, it's like then different rounds have to be weighted more. I think third round becomes weighted way more scoring wise if you look at it like that, because if you fucked me up in the first round and I was almost out, you beat the brakes off of me, but then the next 10 minutes I was beating you, I would be like, okay, yeah, he overcame the obstacle in the first and then he won, right? That's so tricky, man. It's because
I think that's what would essentially happen if we end up going 10-7 rounds. Is
third round
you would end up saying, well, somebody ended up losing the fight because they just got beat up. Yeah. Right. Like you said, it'd be really hard to overcome. Let's say the first round's a 10-7 round.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens then? You know, it'd be nuts.
Yeah.
But Zetriku, man, nice comeback. That third round just unloads on him. Great corner work when they were telling him, don't put too much power. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't put too much power in your shots.
Yeah. That's what got him through his first fight. Who did he fight? One of the city kickboxing guys. Carlos Olberg, right? The kickboxer.
Yeah.
And he was getting fucked up. He was getting fucked up bad in that first round. But, man, his corner did such a good job of being, like, just keeping him calm. Hey, man, pick your shots. Stay in there. Like, they did just enough, right? And same thing here. Same thing.
Yep.
He was getting fucked up in the first round, and then comes out and just beats the brakes off of him.
But, dude, always exciting fights with this guy so far.
Yeah. Hasn't had a boring fight. Yeah.
All right.
You got a performance tonight for this.
This is one of the guys I was looking forward to, Rachmanov.
Same. Very hyped on Rachmanov.
Rachmanov.
Yeah. Hype is still maintained.
Yes. Versus Prazeres. A little bit of a height difference.
A little bit.
This is how you and I looked before we rolled, Will. This is like
I don't think I ever had a hat like
that. You'd leave it in the car.
Yeah.
But man, Prazeres ate that head kick was
my god, dude.
It was right off. They were like, it grazed him. I was like, no. Go back and listen to it. It smacked him straight on the top of his nose and his forehead.
How about that knee, dude?
Not grazing.
He chained that knee in. Oh my god, dude.
Between
that knee against the cage.
Rachmanov just put on a clinic.
Yeah, and we've continued. I mean, that's what we saw in his debut, and it was like, oh shit, everybody pay attention. here we go. And
He
now
has a
he's
lot of
14-0.
tools in his tool belt. A lot of
Dude,
tools in his tool belt.
He's so good. He's so good everywhere. And this was a little bit of a gimme submission, I think. But and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't judge that whatsoever.
Again, for those listening right now, the picture is just Prazeres getting choked out by Rachmanov. But, didn't fight the hands very much. But at this point, Will, you're getting pieced up. You're getting pieced up.
I would do the same. I would have done it way sooner.
You would just lay down and just chin up.
Come on.
And Felder kind of alluded to this too during the replay, and he's like, "And here you see very little resistance from Prazeres, and hey, he lives to fight another day."
Yeah. How about you test positive for steroids, you take 2 years off, and then they give you this fucking animal for your comeback fight. And it's like, wait, what was the punishment? The 2 years or
comes back still looking jacked too?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Absolutely jacked. So
probably shouldn't be fighting at 170. Maybe slim down a little bit, lose some of that muscle. But
he was explosive, man. In the very beginning, he snuck in that left hook, and Rachmanov acknowledged it.
Yeah.
But he's just too much, man.
Too much.
Rachmanov is just going to be a monster.
Yeah, he really is. I'm so excited to see him fight again, man.
Look at that hat, dude.
So long.
Just look at that hat. You got to appreciate the hat that he wore there at the end. What kind of animal is that on his head right now, Will?
No idea. Something from Uzbekistan.
He's from Kazakhstan, right?
Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan?
Yeah, he's fighting out of Kazakhstan, but he's
fighting at home of Borat. Absolutely.
Which is hilarious because in Borat, he fucking hates Uzbekistan, and he drives past the Uzbekistan embassy, and he flips it off and yells a bunch of shit at it.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. But fantastic hat.
It took almost a whole year to see him fight again. He debuted against Cowboy Oliveira, guillotined him in the first round in October of 2020. Here we are in late June of 2021. Fucking hell, man. I want to see some more activity.
All right, let me see here. We had Alves versus Wells before that. Dude, Wells just powerful and explosive.
It's great. He just got cut right through him. Kind of a scary knockout, man. Turn around and just fucking face first.
Yeah, I think we have a picture of that a little bit further down where you could kind of see the aftermath of the right. I think it was a right hand
as he's turning around. Yeah,
as he's turning around, and he just kind of face plants after that.
Yeah, and then not only that, but
look at that. By the way, at the end of that round, and Alves just kind of foot stomps Wells.
Yeah, you love to see it
with that little axe kick down right on his cheek. And then Wells was like, "Oh, okay, that's what you got. Let me show you what I got in this next round." Comes back with a vengeance. Look at that right hand,
right on cue,
right by his temple, his temple. Dude, he just looks so strong, man.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see what he does going forward because that's kind of not the style you really want, right? But
he reminds me of Buckley a little bit. His style,
yeah, definitely full power. Just go hard, 100% on everything.
And I think Alves is already sleeping at this point where you see this picture here of him kind of Wells is pushing him back, ready to land 5 hammer fists in a row before he's dude. Even when Tognoni was right there next to him, he was still
landing shots. Hey man, your UFC debut, you do not risk not getting that knockout. Dude,
and when he's celebrating,
you can until
how scary does he look?
I know.
This is a madman on a mission.
Straight up insane.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Madman on a mission. Imagine having this guy just running at you, fist ready to go. I'm like, dude, I'm good. I'm good. Whatever you need. Just take it. Just take it. All right. Anything else on this fight, Will?
Not really, man. It's feel kind of bad for Alves just for, taking this fight on short notice and then just gets fucking obliterated by this guy who's clearly has some substance use in his past before he made it to the UFC.
But Alves, we appreciate you still giving Wells the opportunity to have a debut. Before that, Prochnio versus Villanueva. Dude, Villanueva.
What a banger.
Villanueva, man. That boxing. He's got some boxing, man. He's got some
Yeah, he
boxing
does.
skills. My dude, look, he's got a little bit of a roll, you know what I mean, hanging outside the front of his shorts. But you know what? That doesn't matter when he's throwing hands.
Dude, holy shit, man. He was going hard that first round. I was like, oh shit, he's gonna get the finish here. Didn't, but
Didn't.
I mean, Prochnio's been hurt in almost every one of his fights.
Nothing new from him. By the
Nothing
way,
new.
in the weigh-in, I think it was where Prochnio's flexing. I think you could see it looked like almost like he had 3 stab wounds.
Yep,
on his stomach. What is that?
That's kind of a sign that from injections, you know.
Is that what that is?
Wait. What stab wounds? What are you talking about?
No, so he's in the front, you know, like he's weighing in, he's flexing on the scale, and it looks like he has bumps around his almost like scars or something like that, around his abdomen. And I was telling my wife, I was like, this guy looks like he's been stabbed 2 or 3 times, but he also looks like the kind of guy that after he gets stabbed at the bar, he goes right back to the bar, sits down, and continues drinking.
I mean, that's basically what happened in this one. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's not from injections. I thought you were talking about like the real small ones that you see on people sometimes.
No. Those, it looks like just scar tissue.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to look
I don't know,
that.
man. Yeah, same. It's interesting, but
dude,
yeah,
that body kick though.
Up.
That body kick.
Yeah, man.
From Prochnio. Look at Richard Casual putting the picture up right away. God, this guy's on it today.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Man, just beautiful. I love body shot KOs. You know, they're one of the best things for me to watch. It sucks to see Villanueva go down like that because he was having so much success, and you know he's.
Oh, you mean like that? Richard Casual putting the picture up again, right in time. Oh my god.
Man, I wanted him to win so bad.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I really did. He seems like a cool guy. I like his style. He's so deceptive with how good he is, you know, because you watch him, you look at his record, 18-12. Okay, you look at him, you're like, okay, this might be kind of a layup. Then he comes out and he's just throwing hands, dude, and he's so accurate and so intense with it, and you just don't get any space. And you know, it ultimately didn't go his way, but props to Prochnio because he survived the onslaught, and that body kick was beautiful.
The leg kicks, beautiful. The body kicks, dude. It's what did work, right? It's what did work.
Yeah.
Not much on that fight though, unless you have anything else.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
All right, and we'll breeze through some more of these fights here because we're already at 12 o'clock here. Now we're in. It's a lot of fun talking fights. It goes by quickly. But Avila versus Stolyarenko. Dude, swinging and banging. Not much technique when they were swinging and banging. I told my wife it's like rock 'em, sock 'em robots real quick.
Yeah, a lot more success on one side of the swinging than the other. Kind of got pieced up a little bit.
Kind of. Just a little bit. I mean, you kind of see it right here from the picture with the blood running down the nose. I'm pretty sure she broke it. Because it was just flowing after a while.
And pretty early.
Yeah.
Pretty early.
But it was a fun fight.
Yeah.
And Avila actually an alum from the XKO fights over here, local fight in Fort Worth. So,
oh, really?
Yep. Shout out to Avila.
Yeah. I don't know what the drama is, but she got kicked out of her previous gym. I don't know what happened, but she
opened up her own gym or something like that after that, or
she's had so many canceled fights. She has her debut right in 2019, July 2019. Then she has 1, 2, 3, 4 fights get canceled over the span of a year. Then she fights Gina Mazzani, wins, right? Finishes her in the first round, and then 3 canceled fights. Okay, so now we're at 7 canceled fights in her career. She loses to Eubanks. Then she has 2 more canceled fights. So we're at 9 canceled fights, and then she has this one. So she's had 3 UFC fights and 9 canceled UFC fights. Giving Cyril Gane a run for his money.
It's not a good ratio.
No, man. Don't book a fight with her. You'll get injured.
All right, man. But hey, props to Avila. A tough girl. She was more than willing to take a shot to give 2 of her own. So it was a fun fight. Before that, we had Rosa versus Janes, man. So for anybody that wasn't paying attention to this fight leading up to this fight, Janes bet his entire purse that he was going to win this fight. Probably why he came out aggressive. He came out really aggressive in the beginning. That first round, he was looking pretty good. But Rosa just seemed to be the more well-rounded fighter. More well-rounded fighter. And I just feel bad.
It's just so brutal, man.
One thing so remember I told you there was a red flag for me during the fight.
The takedown?
Yes. So when James goes for the takedown and DC starts yelling, no, no, no. And it's like, dude, that's not. Let the
you don't want
corner
to hear
do
that from a wrestler.
Let the corner do that, though.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Let the corner do that.
You're a commentator.
Yes, you're a commentator. That's not your job. Let the corner yell that to the fighter and let him know. Keep it standing. He's hurt. Keep it standing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of the things I love about DC, though, is his excitement. You know, he wears his emotion on his sleeve.
Yeah.
When he's, like you mentioned earlier, yelling out Thug Rose, all these different things. I love that. But in this case, I was like, man, I don't want him affecting the fight in any way, shape, or form. So if James happens to hear him and he's like, oh,
he did.
Step back.
He just didn't listen.
But, you know, props to Rosa.
Yeah.
Rosa, happy guy.
Hard fought win.
Almost
got KO'd.
Yeah, so he survived. That's the face of somebody that won the fight.
Yeah.
On the other end, there's a face of somebody that lost all their money.
25 grand.
25 grand down the drain. Dude, maybe lesson learned. I don't know.
It's tough, man. That's the hard one. I remember when the article came out, right, that he bet that much money on himself. The top comment is, I would personally not bet $25,000 on Justin James.
And then who else was it? I think James Krause. Very into finances. Wanting to say, can you imagine a major company like Microsoft or like just dropping all their money and all their assets into themselves? They don't. No major corporation does that. No. So he didn't really think it was the smartest move either. But hey,
again, because it's not.
We fight and we learn. At this level, nothing's guaranteed. No matter who you're fighting, there's no easy fights unless you're going up against Ben Askren and you're Jorge Masvidal. Or Jake Paul. But anyways, all right. Before this, we were talking about this fight for the longest time. We're looking forward to this fight. So I go on lunch, Will, right at 12 o'clock, which is right when the fights start. Yeah. And I swear to God, there's customers walking by my car. I'm sitting in my car watching the fights, and they probably thought I was nuts. I'm yelling. I'm clapping. My car's shaking. And there's a few customers walking by that just look inside and like want to make sure I was okay. And probably were just like, dude, this guy's nuts. I was so pumped for this fight. That third round.
It was crazy, man. I don't know how this didn't get fight of the night.
I mean, because there was a lot of really good fights.
True, but I mean, the Barcelos fight was good, but this was fucking amazing. It was the chin on Yancy Medeiros. Oh my God.
Oh, I know that Yancy has trained with the Diaz brothers as well.
Yeah, they all roll together.
And this reminds me of a Diaz brother fight.
Yeah, he's always had those, right? Like he always seems like the smaller Nate Diaz. You know?
Yeah.
Very similar style. Not a ton of crazy power. Lots of 1-2s.
Yep. He's gonna beat you off volume if you can continue connecting. Throughout the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Hadzovic looked faster in the first couple rounds, beating Yancy to the punch.
He was fucking him up. There was some moments in that I was like, how the fuck is this guy still standing? Just standing up against the cage, eating shot after shot, heavy shots, just head getting knocked around, thrown back every once in a while so it doesn't get stopped, and then regroup, looks fine. And
who was it? Was it Tyone?
Yeah.
Who was he was like right next to him, was like, Yancy, do something. And while Yancy's up against the cage eating shots, you know what he says?
Huh.
He says, yes, sir.
I didn't see that. Really?
You didn't hear him?
What a fucking savage. No, dude.
Hadzovic's just unloading. Yeah. And Yancy's trying to roll with some of these punches. And he yells, yes, sir. And then starts trying to angle out and fight back. I was like, how?
Dude. And fuck, man, he's so tough. And in that third round, on the ground with a fucking mission, dude.
Look at that.
Look
Dude.
at that. It's in.
Oh,
It's in. Fuck, man. If there was 10 more seconds.
this is where I'm in my car. I'm like, squeeze.
Yeah.
And I'm like clapping, dude. You know, oh, man. It was such a fun fight. Yancey,
Yeah,
this is why I love watching
dude.
Yancey Medeiros fight. Win or lose, this guy's a freaking savage.
Look
Look,
at him.
oh, my God. Just squeezing
Dude.
with everything he
Mhm.
had.
When he was framing off of him with his hand, right? He's pushing on his fucking hell, his camera. He's pushing.
Hey, tell your cameraman to calm down.
Yeah. He's pushing on his head and just drops the elbow.
Yep.
Like he was
He had
pushing
a couple of
hard
those.
and just slips down. And I was, dude, if he just stuck with that, they would have even called him maybe. But I think
And the thing
he
is that
lost
they're-
the position. But
They're
God
both
damn.
exhausted. They are
Yeah.
both absolutely drained. And
Yeah.
Yancey just wanted it just that
Pushing
much
through.
more. Just that
Mhm.
much more. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, here's the comeback of the year. This is
Dude,
the
if he
comeback of
got
the
it,
year.
If he got it by like, it wouldn't even be close.
Just lock
Nothing
it
would
up.
even come close.
Just
Yeah.
lock it up. You know what I mean?
Comeback of the past 5 years would have been, in my opinion.
Oh,
He got the choke.
man.
He got the choke with
Yancey.
1 second left. You know what I mean? Like he did get the choke. Time ran out before he tapped. That's basically it, right?
And the other thing I think about too is just like how drained he must have been. Because Rich Cadre, we can go back to the previous picture, right before this one. Look at how deep that is. It's sunken in,
know.
right? And
Yeah.
like you could see
Hasvick's still
Hasvick's
fighting the hands.
fighting the hands. But if Yancey was a little bit fresher, I think he
Yeah.
still probably would have been able to squeeze that one out, considering how
Yeah.
far under the chin that was.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Oh,
Man,
God. Such
so
a good
close.
fight.
I hope he got a bonus off that, man.
I hope so, too. Yancey, we
The fact
love you,
that he
man.
didn't-
Story of the fight loves you.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves one of those back locker room bonuses, the checks or whatever, if those are still going on.
The
because-
legendary checks. Hopefully they are. I don't know if ESPN's
Because-
cutting any of those checks, though.
Yeah, I don't know, but god damn, man, I'm so pissed that didn't win fight of the night. They both deserve 50 grand, man.
Ah,
And
God, it was such
what
a good
fight, dude. What a fight.
All right,
I mean,
well,
on the
dude-
short list, I have it written down because I always like to, whenever things get on Fight Pass, I save them to a playlist, fights that like are notable for me, and this one's one of those.
Right away.
I'll go back and rewatch this for the next fucking 10 years probably. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Great
Oh,
fight.
that's such a good fight. Yancey
Yeah.
Medeiros. Can't wait to see him fight again. Now, we covered 13 fights right now.
Woo!
That's crazy. Just have one quick thing for you for Will's wisdom. Just wanted to
Yeah.
get your thoughts on this. I think Richard Casual has a video to just play real quick.
Ooh.
These YouTubers making headway, making headlines, fighting boxing matches, but they refuse to fight boxers because obviously if they fight boxers, it's not going to end well for them. So you're kind of creating a niche, but it's really a big niche because we live in the dumbest generation humanity has ever created. Because you have to be the dumbest generation to make this kind of thing popular. Listen, it was cool at first. I think the Paul brothers really do put in the work. But now you're starting to get these other YouTubers, other TikTokers. Everybody realizes, you know what? If I got a following, I could go do a boxing match and people are going to watch it. And the reality is the fact that more people are watching these kind of guys fight than people who've been boxing their whole life and have the credentials says more about how stupid the generation is than about boxing than anything.
So that's Paulie Malignaggi, right? First of all, I've always been a fan of Paulie.
Mm-hmm.
But what'd you think?
He was right up until the last statement, I think. The last statement he said, it really says more about how stupid this generation is more than it does about boxing. I think he's dead wrong there. I think, dude, it's in our fucking nature to watch fights. It's in our nature.
Roman
There's
Coliseum, dude.
Yeah, I mean, even further back than that. You know what I mean? Like, it's in our blood. You're watching two people fight, you're gonna stop and watch. You're just going to. The issue isn't
something primal about it, man.
Yeah, people aren't watching the Paul brothers box people because they're dumb. People are watching because they're marketing it so well, and they have the marketing behind them already with their YouTube crowd, right? So it's not about people being dumb and watching it. I watched Logan fight Mayweather, right? I don't think I'm very dumb. I think the marketing behind it was good, and realistically, I just want to watch Mayweather fight. You know, we don't get to watch him fight anymore, so I just wanted to watch him fight. I watched the Ben Askren one against Jake. I kind of knew what was going to happen, but I wanted to watch it. I wanted to see. And these things aren't new. Celebrity boxing matches aren't new. They've always been a thing. Muhammad Ali participated in them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's always been a thing. I think the problem is the popularity of it isn't because people are dumb. It's because there's a story being told. There's the marketing behind it is fucking genius. Everybody wants to see him lose, right? Everybody wants to see finally we can shut this whole thing down. That's why people are watching it. People aren't watching it to see a great fight. That's not what's happening. The issue, I think, does fall onto boxing. They're the ones at fault for all of this because they're the ones that just absolutely refuse to work with each other and market fights correctly. Yeah, and not just that, but even market them, man. Like, I mean, they have guys like Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence and fucking Inoue and
the Charlo brothers.
The Charlo brothers. I mean, there's so many boxers right now that should be so famous, and you pull someone off the street, they're not going to know who they are. They're just not. You know what I mean? And that's not the fault on the boxers, and that's not Jake Paul's fault. That's not Logan Paul's fault. That's boxing's fault. That's Bob Arum. That's fucking Eddie Hearn. Like, they're the ones that are just so comfortable making, because they're in it to make money. They're not in it to make. They're not boxing purists. You know, Paulie is kind of a boxing purist. You know what I mean? He's a boxer. And even he fucking bare knuckle box a meme fighter, Artem Lobov. You know what I mean? So
hey, whoa, he's a meme fighter.
Come on,
he's a goat, dude.
Yeah, and he lost, right? But it's 100% a boxing problem in my opinion. And I don't know if it's a problem. But the good thing is it's also a solution, right? Because I think this is bringing eyes to boxing more than boxing has done for itself in the past 10 years, 10, 15 years. And I think ultimately it's good because it's allowing boxing to recognize, hey, we have a fucking problem here. That why are these outselling our big fights? Maybe we should change some things. Hopefully they fucking take that lesson and they don't just think like Paulie is, because if they're thinking like Paulie is and they just blame it on the dumb generation, then the future of boxing's fucking gone, dude. It's lost. Yeah. You know what I mean? They can't just, oh yeah, people are just dumb. They don't want to watch our sport anymore. They want to watch it, man. People will watch fights. You just have to market it correctly. You have to cut the corruption. Dude, you know how many people... It bothers me. I'm not going to stop watching fights when corrupt decisions get passed, right? When Triple G lost to Canelo, I saw a lot of people react. This is why I don't watch boxing anymore, because it's so anticlimactic and it just you leave with the sour taste in your mouth. For me, the fight was still great. So I got what I wanted out of it. It's everything else sucks. It's fucking horseshit. It's terrible. I think Triple G won that fight. I think Triple G won the rematch too, in my opinion. Much closer, but they're shooting themselves in the feet. It took someone like the Paul brothers to come in and make boxing interesting to this new generation, because boxing hasn't even tried to engage them. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not about this generation being dumb. It's about fucking boxing not marketing themselves. I think he's dead wrong at the end of it. It's crazy because I was agreeing with everything he was saying. He's going down the right path, making good points. But then that last statement, instead of just owning up and saying boxing should learn from this or anything like that, he just blames it on the generation. It's the generation's fault. It's like, you know, I see like the joke. It's like, am I lost? No, it's the young generation that are the fools, or whatever the fucking joke is, you know? Yeah. Am I out of touch? No, it's the young people. It's like, no, dude, you're just getting passed behind and you're refusing to fucking adapt. And the UFC kind of brought this on a little bit, because we get to see these fights happen when they should happen, and we're never withheld from different organizations and different belts and all this bullshit. Boxing just didn't adapt. They just were sitting cozy, making all their money, and they still make a ton of money, which is ultimately why I think they might not learn from this. But it sucks because the future of boxing is in jeopardy a little bit.
That's a great take, Will. Great take. And this is why, for Will's wisdom. No, but it was good stuff, man. That's why, for Will's wisdom, I wanted to make sure that we shared that video there. And then
what do you think, though?
I love Paulie. There's something about Paulie,
Yeah.
man. I've been drawn to Paulie Malignaggi already for quite some time. But to put it on the generation, right? Because I wouldn't say I'm part of the generation that follows the Paul brothers.
Yeah. I don't think I am either, right?
I've
People who
mentioned
are, like,
some of the old school
younger.
fights that I love watching, growing up watching with my pops, you know.
Yeah.
But I tuned into the two Paul brother fights.
Yeah.
Again, the marketing was fantastic.
You're not their demographic. Yeah.
I'm not. And I don't consider myself to be part of that dumb generation that he pointed out.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't necessarily agree with what he said. I just wanted to really get your take.
But here's the thing, dude. Did you watched both of those, right? Did you watch Lomachenko fight last night?
I didn't.
That's a lot of people. Lomachenko's fucking, and that's not on you. He's basically saying that's on you.
You know what I would rather watch, honestly?
I
wanted to watch my boy bang last night.
I know. They just won't let him bang.
They won't let him bang, and they finally did. You know?
Did he win? I didn't even see. I didn't watch
honestly, it. I didn't watch it. But I'd rather watch that than the Lomachenko fight.
Really?
For me...
Dude, he looks so good, though.
I think that the marketing is part of it. Bare knuckle fighting is something that's new. It's still exciting.
And it's a shit show. Everyone wants to watch a fucking train crash.
Yeah. Did you see what happened with Hector Lombard?
No, I didn't see any of it.
I don't know if Richard Cadwell can find the video while we're talking about Hector Lombard after he won. You know how like the random people walk into the ring afterwards and we're like, what's going on here? Hector Lombard was having none of that.
Really?
So some guy walks up random in a t-shirt, starts getting in his face, pieced him up after the fight. Oh yeah. It was chaos. It was absolute chaos. But
anyways,
I've
not seen that.
For me, because again, growing up watching boxing and really following a lot of these boxers, I had like so much emotionally invested into a lot of these fighters. And so when I saw Pacquiao versus Timothy Bradley won, I was so disappointed with the outcome because for me, it was a clear victory for Pacquiao. And I was like, I'm done. I'm just done.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm part of the crowd that you said, you know, would turn away and say after just the corruption that we see. And then when I see some of these fights again, like a Triple G versus Canelo, and you see an Adelaide Bird score this fight so crazy for Canelo and that first fight, another reason why I'm like, oh shit, that's right. That's why I stopped watching boxing so much. Yeah. So do I get to see a great fight? Yes. But it sucks seeing that result come through. You know what I mean? So,
you know, it's and like I said, you just leave with a sour taste in your mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. Bare knuckle fighting, by the way. There's a few good fights coming up. We have, Paige Van Zandt versus
is that Rachel a good fight coming up?
I mean, for bare knuckle boxing, I guess. For bare knuckle boxing. You know what I mean. Yeah, an intriguing fight.
Hey, Ramiro. Yeah. Is this the one that you're talking about?
Richie Cadwell coming through.
I just sent it in the private chat, Rich.
Is that the one?
Yeah. I just watched it right now.
Lorenzo Hunt in the ring. Oh, Jesus!
Bro, don't just walk up. That's fucking
Hector
beautiful, man.
Lombard.
That's beautiful.
He wasn't gonna take that. He wasn't gonna put up with that whatsoever.
No.
He's like, did you know who I am? I'm Hector Lombard. Get out of my face.
Yeah, I'm not here for
Quick
fucking theatrics.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, you love that shit.
One last thing I had, Will. Just wanted to give a special shout out to a couple of other heavyweights that we've actually both had an opportunity to talk to. Our boy JC Juan Salas had an opportunity to meet Cain Velasquez. Look at that! Look at that!
At Phil's Fish Market. Shout out Phil's Fish Market.
Shout out to Mr. JC Juan Salas. Shout out to Cain Velasquez. Still one of the nicest guys that we've run into when we were at work.
Yeah. Very nice guy.
Super nice guy. So special shout out to them. And that's all I got, Will. Do you have anything else?
Nope. Nothing else.
That's all I got. Richard Cadwell, do you have anything? Are the playoffs over?
Oh, no. Playoffs still going. We got Suns versus Clippers. We got fucking the Bucks versus the Hawks. Trae Young is ice cold. And we'll keep you noted on the finals matchup. We can preview that on my podcast.
What's the name of your NBA podcast?
My NBA show. I've been waiting for this my whole life. Okay, to premiere this on Story of the Fight. We are the Shot Callers podcast, an NBA show. We go live on Thursday nights after the primetime matchups during the regular season and during the playoffs. Catch me, Robin, and Kyle every week. So please check us out on Twitter, Shot Caller Show, Instagram, Shot Caller Show, and on YouTube at Shot Caller Show, and anywhere podcasts are sold.
Oh man, yeah,
Ooh,
sold.
and he's out.
We're selling podcasts. He just drops the mic, dude. He's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anybody that loves NBA, check it out. A few good guys over there too, and they go live on Thursday nights too. So always fun. Well, that's all I got. Will 13 fights we covered, and some Hector Lombard piecing up this other random dude that walked into into the ring. Special shout out to JC and Cain Velasquez. I don't have anything else, man.
No, that's it.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to another week of Story of the Fight.